But seriously, thank you so much for doing this, Pearl. I really, really appreciate it. It's nice of you to do this, and you look very nice.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I like the cap too. What is it? What is it? Real fur or what is it?
I think it might be, but I think it's maybe like shearling or something. So I don't think any animals died in the making. They were just sheared.
Yeah, good. I mean, but it looks nice either way. Even if they died, if they didn't, it looks good. Um, what's the temperature like out there right now?
It's kind of cold out here, but it's nice. It gets really cold at night.
Sure.
Um, Today, this isn't related to the temperature, but today seems to be one of the bomb testing days. So our house has been shaking a lot.
Very nice. Edwards, right?
I think, is that what it's called? I don't
I
even,
I believe it's Edwards. I could be wrong, but I mean that's good though. That's cool. You could see some stuff, right? Maybe aliens.
we just feel it. I mean, I have yet to see any aliens, but
Do
Michael
you,
might say differently.
yeah. Do you believe in aliens? I mean, just on a personal note.
I mean, the fact that the universe is so vast and expansive and we haven't been able to explore all of this would lead me to believe that there could definitely be other life forms out there.
Right. So it's more of a yes that there's something else out there than it's a no that there isn't. Right. I mean,
I
at
mean,
this
I feel
point
like
right
that
now.
would be very self-centered to believe that we are the only planet that has any life on it. I know, I mean, apparently there's not much evidence to support that that's
The
not
case.
the
Yeah.
case, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's just funny because it seems like that's what an alien would say, but well, I'll leave it up to the skeptics. There it is. I mean, if that's on telltale sign right there. I mean, all right. But anyways, I mean, for an alien, you make some great music. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's great. I don't know how you immerse yourself into this, but I mean, you did a good job of it. I don't think anybody's really suspecting it yet.
Have you
Yet,
seen The Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie?
no. Is it a movie?
It's a great movie, and he plays an alien. So apparently, you can do both.
All right, all right. Well, yeah, and he had the whole thing. That he was. What was his persona? He
Ziggy
was.
Stardust.
That's right. That's it. No, no, no. Aladdin Sane. That's what it was. I'm sorry. I don't know who this Stardust is. Um, but
There's been a
anyways,
few identities of Mr. Bowie.
sure, sure. He's chameleon. As they say, with the two eyes. He could have been one. A little known fact is that Lou Reed was one, but that's not as what's the word? It's not as publicized. But I have this link. I'll send it to you. It's great. It's a wormhole. It gets you into conspiracy theories about
All
it.
right, let's go.
Yeah. But anyways, so talk to me about the Driftwood Singers, please. Like, what was that your first band? What was that all about?
When I was in high school in LA, I did play a few shows around town where I was like kind of the band leader, but it was never anything really serious. So I never really had a band when I was in high school. So then I went to Cal Arts and I met Christian Lee Hutson. And that was when we started doing the Driftwood Singers. He had been in a band prior. So he taught me a lot of the ropes and taught me how to sing harmonies and really helped me come into my own as a musician. And yeah, it was really old timey country kind of stuff. And that was really fun, a la the Carter family or, Graham and Emmy Lou, who all of which are still my favorites today. And yeah, we did a lot of touring and eventually just went our separate ways because I joined another band called the Blank Tapes.
And that's a great segue into my next question. I mean, and so that was directly after. I mean, this is the next project. Did you initially go in there thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna play drums, and this is what it's gonna be? I mean, or did you think like, oh, there's maybe something else I could play, or
Yeah, I initially was gonna just be a background vocalist and maybe play some guitar, like I did in the Driftwood Singers. But yeah, eventually Matt, the lead singer of that band, had his own ideas. So he decided to put me behind the drum kit, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So he had me do stand-up drums, kind of like what they have in the Velvet Underground. And
sure?
or maybe even less involved than what Mo Tucker was playing, but that was kind of the inspiration.
Did you
And
always play with a floor tom and snare? Like that was it? No cymbals of any kind?
I would have like a crash cymbal.
Very nice. Yeah. And how did that come about? How did you meet him and get involved with that?
God, how did we meet? I think we met. Okay, so there was a venue in LA that is no longer there, but it's called the Echo Country Outpost, and it was really cool. And the Driftwood Singers would play there a lot. It was in Echo Park, and it was kind of a DIY little art gallery commune type of situation. And I think that I met Matt from the Blank Tapes there.
Very nice. Well, how old were you when you joined the Blank Tapes?
I think I must have been like 20. I know I wasn't of age yet because I still had problems getting into bars and stuff when I was playing shows. There was one show where they wouldn't let me in. I just didn't play.
There's like, no, we're not. We can't. The liability on this is high. Yeah. Oh, Pearl, you still there? Oh boy, sorry about that, folks. Zoom.
Oh no, I can
Pearl.
still see and hear you.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we're back. I can hear you. You're good.
Sorry about that.
No, I mean it's all your fault, and just don't happen again. Okay. I
Well, I
mean,
mean, the internet in the desert is not the best, I will say. That is one of the unfortunate downsides, but I don't mind.
I mean, you are an alien, so I mean, you must have some kind of advanced technology to fix that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to out you right now, but I'm just trying to get some details on it.
Well, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'll have to call back to the home planet.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. I didn't want to hear the first part, but yeah, okay. So that I mean that verifies it. I mean, that's it.
You
If
got
that
all the proof you need.
that's the validity that I needed, and we're done with the podcast episode. That was it. I just because Michael said to me, he said, I have a feeling that Pearl might be an alien. I said, let me get to the bottom of this, X-Files style, So yeah, it's great. But
Classic.
yeah, yeah. So you weren't of age when you were
Yeah,
in it in the beginning at least.
initially, and then I was in that band for like 2 or 3 years. So eventually, I did become of age and was able to get into all the bars and play all the shows.
That's awesome. Was it primarily LA that you were playing, or did you guys ever go on tour? Or
Yeah, we got to tour all over the world. We went to Brazil and Japan and all over Europe, and that was really fun. It was, my first experience doing a lot of international touring.
right? I mean, prior to that though, were you traveling in the States a lot in terms of touring?
Yeah, I mean, the Driftwood Singers and the Blank Tapes both traveled extensively in the US, and we also went to Canada.
Very nice. So I mean that is extensively. I mean, in my eyes, I mean that's a whole other country. I mean, if we're being honest. But
Just staying in the continental US, though.
yeah, was that your first time going outside the country? I mean, I mean, flying obviously outside the country, or had you done that prior in like a non-touring point?
Yeah, I'd been able to travel a little bit prior to that, but that was my first time traveling internationally for music for sure.
Yeah, and were you like, this is awesome, this is like fantastic, I'm able to see all these places?
Yeah, I mean, like Japan and Brazil have always actually been on my like bucket list of places to travel to, so it was really cool to have a reason to go there. I would love to go back and just explore without being on tour because being on tour is very demanding of your time. But still, we've always managed to schedule our tours to be relatively chill, so we have a chance to go and explore and do a little bit of vacationing amidst the whole thing.
Yeah, do you remember your first tour? I mean, obviously in the continental United States, but do you remember where you went?
Yeah, I do remember. It was up the West Coast, and I actually booked that tour for like 3 bands, all of which went to Cal Arts. So it's funny how it all works out.
Yeah, what were the bands, if you don't mind saying, if they're
Um,
still around?
I don't think any of the bands are still bands today, but there's a band called Superette, which is an offshoot of one of those bands.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So I mean, going into Cal Arts though, I mean, and that is another question. I mean, you're really giving me these transitions and segues. I mean, this is perfect. But going to Cal Arts for music, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's yeah, that's what you went there for, obviously. Did that help you at all further down the line in making music? Did you did you gain anything that was you were able to implement outside of school, learning it
Oh,
from school?
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of wish I could go back to school now and pay more attention because I was coming fresh out of high school. So I wasn't as excited just about being in school. But I mean, I learned so much about music composition, um, and musical history. I mean, we had to study like world music and classical music and jazz and all the stuff that I really like didn't have much of a background in prior to that. So I definitely think it was really helpful. But ultimately, like, I think if you want to be a touring musician, your best education in that regard is just going to be getting out and doing it. And I was able to balance and do both. I toured a lot while I was at CalArts and figured out a way to get independent study credits for doing that, because I was essentially just being a musician while going to music school. So I felt like that was fair.
I mean, I mean, and you are, I mean, like, no matter what, you're implementing it in some way, whether it be educational or real world aesthetic from it, you know? And that's what I gathered from your story right now.
You cut out a bit there. I apologize.
It's fine. It wasn't that interesting anyways. I mean, we could just move on to the next question. No, I just said that you were implementing music, whether it be in an educational sense or a real world sense. I mean, you were always, I mean, a part of it in some degree.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think CalArts is a really great school, and I chose that school because I felt like it offered a truly immersive artistic experience, and I had gone to a very academic high school, so it was kind of nice to try something completely different
Yeah,
and
definitely.
be fully doing music all the time.
Sure. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2013.
Okay. Wow. All right. Real, like way long ago. I mean, that is just ages and ages ago now, huh?
I mean, it certainly feels like a very long time.
Does it really? Does it
It's
really?
a different life. And I
Yeah.
mean,
Gotcha.
yeah, it does. I mean, my life has changed a lot since then. So, and I was about to say, just over the course of the last year, I mean, everything prior to COVID kind of feels like another lifetime now.
Sure, definitely. Yeah. Um, it's so interesting. Like watch, I mean, like, and this has been said 1,000 times already, but like watching things like I just watched Groundhog Day last night. I was like, oh my gosh, they're so close and everything. But anyways, I mean, I think it's just Bill Murray just doing his magic. Personally, it could be other things though.
Oh, I mean, I'm a huge fan.
Of course. I
What's
mean,
not
how?
to love?
Yeah, how can he not be? Exactly. Is your dad Larry Charles?
Yes, he is.
That's fucking insane. And for those who don't know, I mean, head writer of Seinfeld for a bit, executive producer of Seinfeld for a bit, directed Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes. I mean, what he was with, he directed some Dharma and Greg episodes too, right? I want to say, I believe, and
Mad
directed
about you.
Mad About You as well, and directed. I mean, just these tiny, low budget films, Bruno, Borat, and The Dictator. But nobody really knows about that. Is that who I think it is right there? Oh boy, there he is, making his cameo. Hey, Michael, I want you to know this is the first time that somebody else has came back. I mean, this is a historic moment. This is historic. I like your striped shirt.
Repeat offender here.
There it is. There he is. Oh man.
I think it's a different striped shirt.
Yeah, I think this one's new.
Yeah, I got a better version of the same shirt.
It looks new and it looks good. I'm just gonna tell you that. Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, that is like that's.
I did find that and tell him to buy it. To be fair,
that's how I get most of my clothes.
Yeah, it's that's normal in a couples situation, I think.
Sure. Yeah, obviously. I mean, it looks good though. It looks really good.
Anyways, apparently.
Hear that, babe? You look great.
Oh, thank you very much.
That means I'm doing my job right.
You look great, babe. Let me just tell you. But I mean, that's crazy. I mean, your dad has an extensive work. I want to say discography, but that's not right. Resume, rather. Yeah, I mean, I think that makes more sense. Discography, if you will.
Yeah, filmography, maybe. I don't know what you call it for TV.
I prefer discography. It sounds better. But I mean, and obviously, you said that you went to school in LA. I mean, throughout your formative years, right?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Hollywood, California, and I've never really left. I guess we live in the desert now, but it kind of just feels like an extension.
Same thing. All of California is LA. I mean, that's just how it is. It's eventually, yeah.
At least Southern California.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Oh, it's San Francisco. I mean, I heard that San Francisco just loves LA. I mean, that's what I've gathered every time I'm up there. Like, oh, you're from Southern California? Oh, we love LA. That's like the common consensus there.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
But I mean, he was pretty tethered down here. I mean, obviously because of his work. I mean, did that kind of bring you a sense of like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna keep on being in the general area because my family's here? Obviously, I mean, like, did that have any part in that at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm really close with my family, so I mean, I haven't seen them quite as much lately because of COVID, but um, yeah, I mean, me and my older sister both stayed in Southern California for college. My little sister and little brother went away for school. But now both my sisters work in the film industry, and I also just think LA is a great place to come home to. Having traveled the world, I'm always happy when I come back. I mean, the weather's perfect, and can't complain.
Sure, sure. So there's four of you all together?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of tuition. I mean, Cal Arts alone, let alone out of state. I mean, whew.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
And we all went to private schools, so I commend my parents. They worked very, very hard, and they really cared about our education.
That's why your dad did the dictator. He's like, I gotta pay these bills. Please, Sasha, let me direct the new film. I got kids in college, man. Yeah. I'm assuming that's how that went down, at least.
Hey, we all got to work.
Exactly. I mean, and that's just so interesting. That's very, very interesting. Did he, I mean, coming from I mean, a film industry basis, within his own personal work, was he very supportive of you pursuing music in having a non-conventional conventional job? Conventional, that's how you say that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, both my parents are really artistic, and they really understand the pursuit. So I think in my family, the way to rebel is to not be an artist. So they definitely get me.
What does your brother do for work, if you don't mind saying? Because you said both your sisters are in the film industry.
My brother just graduated from college, but he went to George Washington University and is into political stuff, all sorts of different things. I don't quite even exactly know what he does.
Gotcha. I mean, that's good though. I mean, so he's like kind of the black sheep of the family going off, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna stay away from all this entertainment business.
In the end, I kind of think he will end up finding a way to merge politics and entertainment, whether that's through some sort of lobbying situation or something. I
Sure.
just think, I feel like, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I believe that he's capable of doing whatever he wants, but it's definitely like the family business, if you will.
Oh yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like that. Have you expressed this to him? Like, hey, I think that you're gonna come back around. Have you ever said that to him, or are you waiting until he does it? Like, I called this.
I think that he'll manage to make it political still. So I don't feel like I'm like, you'll come crawling back. But I think he already knows that, I think he knows he has an expertise in that area, and that's kind of unique. So I think he can really bring something to the table.
Definitely. So I mean, with your parents both being artsy folks, did they help um kind of steer you in the direction of musical influences in any way?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, growing up, they drove me everywhere. LA is such like a car culture, so they were always playing me CDs and things like that. Well, because that's what we listened to when I was a kid, tapes and CDs. And
Well, I listen to now, so yeah.
there you go.
I got a tape player in the car. Yeah.
That's
Still.
great. I mean, tapes sound great. I love that. Even a cassette tape has like a little bit of that warmth that you get from, tape. So.
That's just the heat of the magnet that's pulling the strip. That's it. I mean, it's a common thing, but literally you will feel it.
Yeah, exactly. It's real.
Yeah.
My dad, turned me on to Bob Dylan and the Beatles and Frank Zappa and all that kind of stuff. And then my mom was really into Leonard Cohen and John Prine and Townes Van Zandt, like kind of country singer-songwriters and just singer-songwriters in general, on the more dark side, kind of. And I didn't always love everything that my mom liked growing up, but all of that has like definitely made a major influence on me in the end. I just kind of had to wait until I got old enough to appreciate it.
Absorb it. Did they show you anybody that we would know? Because all those names you just listed, I'm not too familiar with their discography.
I mean, I could name you some more obscure people. Like she told me about Jimmy Dale Gilmore, Billy Joe Shaver, who you might know. They're not completely unknown.
the names ring a bell. If gun to my head, name any songs by them. I'd be like, nope, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's some people know Jimmy Dale Gilmore because he was in The Big Lebowski. He plays the character Smokey, who Walter pulls a gun on. So he's kind of more well known for that almost than his music. But he's in this band called the Flatlanders with Joe Ely and Butch Hancock, I think is the guy's name. But again, this is all like pretty deep Texas country stuff. So if that's not your bag, you might not know about it.
Not so much, but I was gonna make a joke like, "Oh yeah, he was John Goodman in that." But I mean, like now that you said that, I mean that's an intense scene, by the way. I mean that for a kind of, I mean, lightly hearted, in comparison to other movies, that is like a very like intense scene, and I wouldn't have marked it honestly. Personally, I would just be like, "Yeah, he's probably not gonna shoot it," but you know, that's just me.
If you had to put money on it,
I would call his bluff. That's just me. But I'm a gambling man, you know.
I mean, it got him kicked off the bowling league.
Yeah, that's that one. And what was that other one with Bill Murray? And he plays the bowler too. Maybe Woody Harrelson as well was in it. Does that ring a bell at all?
Maybe I haven't seen this film. Are you talking about Kingpin?
Yeah.
I've never actually seen that, so
Okay.
I won't take credit for knowing anything about it other than the title.
It's funny because Michael said that it was like your favorite film of all time. It's just so interesting. I thought that you know a lot about it since it's your favorite film, but it's fine.
Yeah, I picked my favorites in a really bizarre way. I'm like, I've never seen it, so that's my favorite.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, okay, so you went from the blank tapes to directly just performing solo under your own name.
Yeah, I almost thought about dabbling as a session side musician for a minute, but honestly, I just don't really think that that's my my path in life. So I dabbled. It didn't really work out, and then I was kind of left wondering what there was for me to do. And I was like, well, I've got these songs that I've been writing for the last few years, but I haven't had any outlet for them because I don't have my own project and blah blah blah. So then I decided like I was just going to do my own thing, and I'm really happy to do that now because now it's very clear to me that that was the path that I should be on, and I have a very clear idea of the vision that I want to execute. But at the time I kind of was just taking a leap.
And that, I mean, it really paid off, obviously, you know, along with the musical influences that you weren't into as a kid that your mom was showing you.
Yeah, I mean it paid off like cosmically and spiritually. I don't know if it pays off financially. We have still yet to see that part.
So buy the vinyl, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So the songs that make out the your self-titled debut album of Just Pearl Charles, were you making those songs? I mean, were you dabbling with the ideas of those songs at least while in the blank tapes and the Driftwood Singers, or did it just kind of like all be was it all like, you know, circumstantially together at one point?
Yeah, I started writing songs when I was in the Driftwood Singers and the Blank Tapes, but both those bands had songwriters that were the primary songwriter. They weren't really looking for contributions from me. So then I finally like decided to dust them off and give them a life of their own. But Matt from the Blank Tapes helped co-produce and played a lot of the instruments on that EP. So his influence was really strong on that one. And then as we went our separate ways, and you know, I made more records in the future, I kind of honed in on a different sound from there. It's kind of been a transition out of the garage rock 60s kind of sound to more of the soft 70s.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, and that's, I mean, that has been a, I mean, a presence that I've picked up on. I mean, listening to your discography, your solo stuff, and which is great. I mean, you've really chosen, and it works out well. I mean, and people are really receiving this well. I mean, even prior to the album reviews of the new one, Magic Mirror. But I mean, do you feel that you're like, you know what, I really like the way this is going, and I like the way it sounds?
Yeah, I am. I'm really, really proud. I mean, I think that this record is the best record that I've made, and I'd like to think that it will continue to improve just because I'm getting more in touch with what I want to do as an artist. I'm getting better at writing songs, and I have a great group of musicians and producers around me who can really help me see that through. And that takes years and years to build up, and it's also always changing. But I feel like I have a really solid crew at the moment.
Yeah, you're talking about the self-titled debut album, right? That's the one that you're referring to.
I mean, that was a really solid crew too. I'm still really good friends with all those people, but we've all musically moved on to different projects. So
Sure, which is, I mean, organic, and it'll happen eventually, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it all depends on, you either grow together or you grow apart. So
That's true. Yeah. And speaking of writing songs, I mean, what is there like a certain process that you go through to write each song? Is there like a specific, like, oh, I write the guitar first, or come up with a melody or lyrics? How are you doing this? Give us the ways that you're doing this so we can write our own albums in the vein of yours.
well, maybe you should just take some mushrooms then, because that's how I wrote the song Imposter.
All right, all right. We got to edit that out. I am sponsored by Dare. What are you talking about? Okay, hey, by the way, don't do this. All right,
Don't do drugs, kids,
but do them
unless
if
they're
you want,
legal.
or do them if you want. But I mean, whatever, right?
Do drugs.
Okay, all right. Just full out do them. Just, and
The
that's
message from Pearl Charles.
dash Pearl Charles. That is going to be a direct quote. We'll get that printed on a poster, and
I think that's a great idea.
we'll hang it up in the classrooms.
I'm thinking about making rolling papers and like lighters and matches as merch. So I don't think I'm exactly the anti-drug authority.
That'd be awesome. Make a bong. It's like, this is not for weed. Do not.
Oh, wow, that's a great idea. It's kind of like a Magritte painting.
Oh, all right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm not gonna act like I do. I'm not that kind of guy.
Well, let me tell you about it. He's this French artist that made these paintings, and it's like a painting of a pipe, but on top it says, "This is not a pipe."
Oh, okay. I mean, I've seen other people implement that, and I think the guy's name is Monet. I think you're talking about Monet, the French artist.
There's just only one French artist whose name starts with an M.
Yeah, and it's Monet.
And Matisse.
No.
Michael said no too. I don't know if you could hear him.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
He's spying on us.
Michael and I have a kinship. I mean, and we've already, I mean, since, I mean, you weren't here when we were doing the podcast. I mean, but I cut it off at an hour, but we went on for like, I want to say like 5 hours at least. I mean, it was great.
That's when you're having fun.
That's right. That's true. No, but going back to my original question that I dodged, but I'm going back to it. I'm gonna harp on it now. How do you develop songs usually? Is there like a process, or is it?
I wasn't joking. I really write some songs on mushrooms, but okay.
I know mushrooms.
I'll give some more insight into some other songwriting processes.
Thank you.
I find that the best songs are the ones that just appear to you, whether it's through a psychedelic means, or it just comes to you in a dream, or it just comes to you. And that's when the lyrics and the melody come together at the same time. But not every song comes and flows out of you that easily. Some actually require work, and it's kind of like a diamond that you have to chip away at, and you'll just get one little piece, whether it's a lyrical idea, whether it's a musical idea, whether it's actually lyrics or actual music, or just an idea of like, oh, I like this song, so I want to do something that kind of sounds like this song, or like I'm just thinking about some heady shit and I want to use that as a concept. So I always am writing down notes in my phone and singing voice memos. And when it comes down to actually writing, then I kind of like look back through that stuff. But like I said, the best stuff really, like, it's hard to explain because it comes from an external source, it feels.
Gotcha. So you don't write your own songs, is what you're saying?
I do a lot of co-writing.
No, I'm kidding. I know that Michael was the crux of this last album, and all the ideas was his, and then you kind of took it. That's what I know of thus far.
Well, I will give Michael a lot of credit because he is my musical partner and my partner in life. And we started the album before he and I had ever met. So most of the songs were written before he came around, but he did help me finish one of them, and then he played on the record, and his contributions are crucial.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a different kind of relationship than the conventional one that you guys are both in the music world and are constantly able to like bounce ideas off each other, et cetera, et cetera. Has, I mean, and that's played obviously a major role, right? Correct. I mean, like in just since you've met him in making music, I mean, as it played an instrumental role in making music.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we both were making records at the same time, and we both influenced each other, whether it was actually directly through writing songs or playing on each other's albums, which we both did, but or whether it was just through turning each other onto new music and new ideas, or writing songs about each other.
That's nice. That no, really. I mean, I know I joke around a lot, but that's nice. But here's another joke. Kidding. But okay, so tell me about why did you choose Magic Mirror as the title of this album? Where did that come about?
So, as we were just discussing with song ideas, I got the title in a dream. So, again, I didn't really come up with it. I don't know, somewhere in the subconscious, somewhere in the universe, it was beamed into my brain, maybe from my alien forefathers.
Just fathers. I know how it works up there. Um, but and who took the cover photo of that?
Trippy Dana, Dana Tripp is the photographer, and my friend Sydney did the hair and makeup. And yeah, Dana's an incredible photographer. I've worked with her in the past, but never for album art stuff. So I was really excited to use her for that this time around.
Right, right. Was there did you approach this album differently than you did like Sleepless Dreamer or the self-titled release or anything prior to this?
In some ways, I mean, in some ways it was similar. Like I used one producer for the whole thing and did it at one studio. But on Sleepless Dreamer, we use like session players, which we use session players on this record too for some overdubs, but the bass and drums, so basically the basis of the album, was my live touring band that I've been touring with for the last few years. So that was something that was kind of different.
Nice. And I mean, did you record this album with a full band, or was it just like a kind of a select few people that played multiple parts of this, or how did that come about?
Um, well, the bass and drums are the same the whole way through, and we did all of that live. And then the guitars were played by Michael and Catfish, they both play in my live band. The producer also played guitar. So I guess he's kind of like the silent member, if you will. And I think that often happens, especially nowadays with producers who are also musicians and whatever, like they'll contribute, and he obviously can't join the band and go out on the road with us because he has a family and is a producer, and that's what he does. But he's a crucial part of it. And there's tons of other people too. I mean, my friend Drew, who sometimes plays with us live, and yeah, tons of other people that added little sprinklings, but like the main crew is my normal live touring band.
And is that who's playing on these I mean Instagram live concerts and whatnot with you?
Everyone except for the bass player, who used to be in my touring band, but he didn't play bass. He played guitar. But my bass player from the record, who's been my bass player the last few years, is Australian. So when the pandemic came down, he decided to go back to Australia, where they don't really have any COVID. So he's nice and safe in Australia.
So when I mean obviously this COVID has changed things. Do you remember the last live real concert you played?
Do I? It was like one
Do
of the
you?
worst shows of all time. It was really bad.
Please. I mean, I would love to hear the story of why it was so bad.
I don't even know why it was. I mean, it was like in a hotel lobby. It was just like really not where we were at as a band. It was like, it wasn't a good show. We were being really underpaid and underappreciated. They didn't really have a real setup. I mean, it kind of was like a game changer in terms of like us realizing like we need to start to be more discerning. We were at the end of a record cycle, so we were kind of just like, oh yeah, we'll do a show in LA where we make a little money or whatever. And then, I mean, it's funny, it actually turned out to be like a fun night in the end, because it was at this hotel that has this secret like roller skating like 70s disco bar inside. So we did get to go do that, and that was like right before COVID. So that was fun, and I'm glad I got to experience that bar, because I don't know if it's going to be there when things come back. But I remember I cried. I cried after that show. I mean, I got pretty drunk, and I think that was like then my emotions of how I really felt about the show came out. It just wasn't good, and which is too bad, because you asked me about the last show. The one before that was great. We like almost sold out Zebulon, and it was amazing. But now that's really like changed. So I'm actually excited about doing the live streams, because we have a lot more control over what we're doing. I do miss playing live, but yeah, that was the last show before COVID.
I mean, this new album, Magic Mirror, has a lot of different kind of sounds to it and tones to it. I mean, what were you listening to while recording it and writing this new album?
I actually have a playlist that I've made public on Spotify if people want to check it out, but it's like called LP2, and it was like a lot of the inspiration. It's ABBA and Fleetwood Mac and Bonnie Raitt and the Pointer Sisters and Todd Rundgren, and I mean, I think the list goes on, but I think that kind of covers a lot of the bases of the kinds of stuff we were thinking about.
Right. If you send that over to me, I'll put it in the description of the video if you want people to listen to it. But I don't know. Maybe sneak some of your tracks into it as well.
I think it's a great playlist.
Of course you do. You curated it. Yeah, you got to. I mean, imagine how bad it's like. It's not good. Like,
I'm gonna make an album of all these songs that I hate. Yeah, that would be a weird choice.
I mean, if the money's right, money talks. Money talks, Pearl.
I always say, I feel like people criticize selling out, but I'm like, you've never been given the opportunity to sell out. Like, if you were given the opportunity to sell out, you might do it.
Yeah, like Tony Hawk had a great like take on that. He said something, I'm paraphrasing this. He said some long lines. He's like, people said I've sold out. It's like, because I did a McDonald's commercial. It's like, you've never eaten at McDonald's. You don't eat at McDonald's sometimes. Like, he's like, I like it. If the money's there, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough question. I do think like it would be really cool if.
Oh, you lagged out there, Pearl. Oh, Pearl, you're back. Please, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It sounded like it was really interesting, and then you just stopped talking. I don't know why. That was a weird gap that you just did there.
That might just be me.
I think it is you.
Saying that I think that it would be really cool if there were non-commercial opportunities for artists to make money, but it kind of seems like nowadays that's where the money is. So we have to survive still somehow. I do think it's probably good to be discerning about the kinds of stuff that you're promoting and getting behind. But if Tony Hawk wants to endorse McDonald's, that's his prerogative.
And you're next, right?
I mean, again, like I don't eat McDonald's. No judgment, but I don't. So
I used to eat it a lot more before.
Michael says he used to eat it a lot before he started dating me.
And now he told me he's a Burger King guy now, which is good.
My mom weirdly loves Burger King, and when I was growing up, I was not allowed to eat fast food, which is probably why I don't eat very much of it now.
Your mom had the right idea. I mean, Burger King's amazing. Realistically, I'm looking for a sponsorship for them, because that is not me selling out. That is me. I mean, kind of just stealing money from them. I love it. I mean, shout out to Burger King. The one by my house just closed recently, and I'd gone there when I was a kid, with my grandmother and my parents, everything. It was the closest one to us, and now it's gone. So it's like, what's going to take it? Another McDonald's? I don't want to see it, Now I have to go to
In-N-Out or a Del Taco if you're lucky.
Okay. In-N-Out during this pandemic, every time I drive by it,
crazy
oh my
Craziest.
Gosh. It's insane.
I know. We've tried to go a few times, and I've had to turn around because I was like, I can't wait in the line for like 3 hours.
Good luck with that. I really wish you the best in that venture that you're trying to take, because it's going to be a jaunt. You're going to have to, let's just put it this way, you're going to have to put the car in park. That's just what's going to happen. I mean, there's no way.
We live about like an hour from the closest In-N-Out, so it's not really on our agenda these days.
I'm just saying, if you revisit it, and it's The best of luck to you. Godspeed in that. Okay. That was a full-on alien salute thing. I don't know what that means. Because I'm full-on human. I mean, I'll admit it, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got the shades on. You could be changing colors of your eyes. I don't know.
This is just the no makeup defense.
Thank you to Crap Eyewear, right?
All the more power to them. Love those guys.
Love you, Crap Eyewear. Please send me some stuff. I need it.
Michael's wearing his crap eyewear in your interview too, wasn't he?
Actually, yeah, he was wearing glass. I didn't know that it was crap though.
It's a family affair.
It's good. It's good.
I got him those sunglasses too, by the way.
I mean, you're just buying everything for him. How is the
I didn't pay for them.
You look great, babe. I don't know if you heard me, but I just want to reiterate it. How has the change, that being the move, switched your music preferences, if at all? I mean, the way that have you been more inspired or less inspired, or eating McDonald's?
We've been so busy with the record release that there hasn't really been much time to listen to music or be creative, or I mean, I don't know. I feel like for me, creativity is writing, and writing is something that you just don't have time to do when you're like constantly filming live streams and stuff. It's just like being on tour, basically. It takes up all your time. Some people somehow manage to write on tour. I'm usually the one driving on tour, so don't have much time to write stuff down.
Somebody grab me a notepad. I got an idea.
I mean, I will dictate stuff into my phone, like I said, but that's if I'm not too tired to think.
Right.
Which on tour, I usually am.
I mean, and this is the third maybe or fourth perhaps release that you've done of your music on Canine Records. How did that begin?
Canine approached me after hearing my my first release on a label that we all know of called Burger, and yeah, I'm glad that they decided to release it on vinyl, because Burger was just doing tapes at that time, and now obviously they're not doing anything. So that's the story.
That is the story. Pearl, I gotta tell you, I have a lot of posters and flyers and such on my wall right here, and there's a huge one that I see every day, and it's the Deserted at the Palms, the May 21st. I do not know what year this is from, but you're on it. You're right here. I'm looking at you right now.
What, were you at that festival?
Not at all. I got the flyer though.
That's quite random.
Yeah, I mean, and you're playing with a lot of good people. Mild High Club, Kim and the Created, all this. I just wanted to tell you that
Mild High Club played that. Oh, that's fucking crazy.
Sometimes I get people on here that it's like I see your name all the time. Shannon Shaw from Shannon and the Clams. I mean, she's on here like several times, and it's just like crazy. Like as we're doing this interview with her, I looked at it, I was like, there she is there. I mean, like, it's just kind of crazy. I see these things every day, and Michael hasn't sent me a flyer of his, so I don't have his up, and which I asked him to do, and he didn't do it. But
well, I mean, if you knew about our post office out here, then you would understand.
I know. I wanted to hand deliver it. That's it. It's fine. I'm in Orange County. It's like just down the street.
I was about to ask, actually.
Yeah.
Where you were.
I already answered, so it's fine. Yeah.
Just like I preempted your questions, you preempted mine.
That's right. It's good transitions. That's what maybe I should switch the name of the podcast. Good transitions. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm pretty into that.
Yeah.
When Michael first told me the podcast was called The Vineyard, I asked him if it was affiliated with the church. Do you get that a lot?
No, but every time that I explain to people, like they ask, "Oh, what's your podcast?" I say, "Oh, The Vineyard. It's on YouTube." If they search it, it's like all The Vineyard podcast, church, Vineyard church, Vineyard church. I was like, okay. But recently, it's kind of been climbing up a bit. So,
ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
getting your SEO.
Yeah, well, whatever that is, sure. Yeah, don't even explain it. Just leave it. Just leave it. It's fine. I trust that it's a good thing. Sure.
You can Google it later.
Yeah, I'll Google it. I will get back to the people who are at all 10 of people who listen to this. They're gonna be like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, Google it.
Hey, there might be one more person listening to it than would have not before. Does that make sense? What I just said? Not sure it was a sentence. That's okay.
That's the way that you should have said it. I mean, already when you're saying, I was like, yep, that's how I would have said it.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for an alien, but listen, I wrapped this up with the promo stuff. So I got some stuff, and if I don't say anything, please chime in and say something that you want promoted and I didn't mention. Okay. So you can find Pearl's newest album, Magic Mirror, the Christmas Must Be Tonight single featuring Michael Roltz. Michael, if he hears this, and Between Dreams, which has demos from Magic Mirror, correct?
From Sleepless Dreamer.
Okay, well, we're gonna edit that out. It's fine. And Sweet Sunshine Wine and Sleepless Dreamer are all available at k9records.com, and you can get everything I just mentioned digitally right now on Pearl Charles at Bandcamp, or sorry, .bandcamp.com. And
I think it's Pearl Charles Music. For some reason couldn't get Pearl Charles.
Are you sure? I feel like I looked it up. Anyways, okay.
Oh, well, no, maybe you're right.
Maybe I am.
I mean, I'm on a computer right now, so let's just fucking do it.
All right, let's fucking do it.
Yeah, no, it's Pearl Charles Music. I don't know what happens if you try to go to pearlcharles.bandcamp.com. Let's find out. It
crashes your fucking computer.
That's the alien. That's how you get into the alien website.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Thank you, Michael.
Someone named Pearl Charles in South Pasadena, which is like not far from where I live, but it's not me. So
okay, sure.
Get out of here.
Right. That's just the human body that you just kind of took over.
That was the first person they beamed me down into.
Yeah, and you took them. And did I miss anything else besides fucking up the Bandcamp?
No, I would just say it's Bandcamp Friday right now. So if people want to buy stuff, today's a good day. And we're more than halfway out of the second pressing of the record. We sold out of the first pressing already. And it's purple vinyl and it's really pretty. And we also have t-shirts that are really cool. And those are also almost out. So if anyone wants anything, I'd get it stat. That's all.
Get it quick, but this will be out next Friday. So, I mean, you're going to have to get whatever cents that Bandcamp is going to pay you. It's like, hey, people bought $20 worth of your stuff. Here's 35 cents or whatever works. I don't know. But is there anything else besides that?
No, I don't mind sharing the love with Bandcamp. They've been amazing for the artists, and they made my album their album of the day at one point, and that really helped me. So they can take their credit.
Well, we are sponsored by Spotify, so no, Pearl, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you 1 second because I'm just going to end this recording real quick. All right. I'll see you on the other side.
Peace.
Of the earth. Of course, you'd say that.